Hey, house guests, welcome to today's Big Brother 22 updates and spoilers. Don't worry, we have lots to talk about today because I gotta fill you in on everything that happened before the super long feeds outage. Yay! Who knows what tomorrow's spoiler is gonna look like, but today we have lots to discuss. Somebody's already like, what's going on? So our house guests of the day, we have Elizabeth FP and Jeffrey A. Curtis. Thank you both so much for the support. We could not do this without you, and we appreciate it so, so much. And if you guys want to be house guests of the day, check out our Patreon link in the info box below. Yay! Hello, everyone. Hope you're doing well today. I also want to thank our super chatters before we get going here. So from yesterday, we have Jody Cortez, Kathleen Marie, Dasha Romero, Tooltips with Tommy, Candela the Candle, S. Dean, Traval K, Books and Quirks, Jefferson Tucker, M. Marie COJ, Kathleen Marie, and Dan D. Yay! Thank you all so much. We really couldn't do it without you, and I mean it when I say that. So thank you. And I also want to thank today's super chatters already. We've got Jody Cortez. Thank you so much. S. Dean, thank you so much. And Team Monkey, thank you so much. And just to answer Team Monkey's question real quick, I've been watching you for a few years now. Love the show. If you would be so kind, tattoo on your left arm. Yes, this is Singing in the Rain, Gene Kelly. And I decided on this one because it is one of my all-time favorite movies, and it always brings up my spirits. So love that. And on this side, I have La La Land, which is one of my other all-time favorite movies. So I thought it would be a nice full circle thing to have both of them, because this is almost like today's Singing in the Rain, I feel like. But yeah, thank you so much for asking, and thank you for the super chat. So let's get started here. Okay. When we left off yesterday, Kevin and Devon still up on the block, and Devon pretty much already has at least 4 votes locked against her. Cody, Tyler, Enzo, and Christmas, they're all locked in. You gotta imagine, like, Danny and Nicole are also going to be voting against Devon, I'm sure, because they don't want to be on the wrong side of the vote. And Devon is already telling them, like, look, if it's not going to happen, don't vote for me to stay, because I don't want you guys to put your game in danger. Yeah. So the feeds were down for like 4+ hours yesterday morning / afternoon. Remember when we thought that was crazy? So I don't know why that happened. There was no mention of a neighbor when the feeds came back after that, so I don't think it was the secret neighbor. It was probably just a plumber coming in to unclog the bathroom sink. This other feeds outage, I don't know. We'll get to it. We will get there. But anyway, after the shorter feeds outage ended yesterday, Devon campaigned, sort of, to Christmas in the Lounge. So Day was like, I don't know where your head is. You know, we made an alliance with the girls, and then I made you a have-not. We saw Christmas was not happy about that. So Devon says, like, things kind of took a turn after that. And she says, I tried to reassure you that me and you are still okay, and I hope that you believe that, because that's how I feel. So she says, I know you adore Kevin. Are you kidding me? She says, I know you adore Kevin, and it's a really hard week for you. I don't think it's that hard of a week for Christmas, but okay. So she says, I just kind of want to see where you stand for voting. So she says, if you have any type of insider info, I don't need to know the specifics of that info. I just want to know if it's my week to go. So she says, I want to be able to prepare myself, and I want to look cute on Thursday if I'm going, right? She says, I don't want to be leaving the house in athleisure or athletic wear or whatever. I want to be wearing a nice outfit. So she says, if you let me know, I won't tell anyone you told me. And just keep in mind, like, I'm going to the jury house, and honesty goes a long way. So Christmas says, I don't think my individual vote makes a huge ripple in this. You know, she says, I have heard, not directly. She says, this is filtered and telephoned, that there was a conversation about Kevin staying because of your speech. She's talking about her power veto speech, because apparently Devon, like, burn the house down with her POV speech. Or that's what people are saying anyway. We'll find out tonight, hopefully, what she actually said. So, yeah, Christmas tells her, like, I'm hearing that you're probably going. So she says, that was my understanding of the temperature of the house. And Christmas says, like, obviously your speech was not great, like, game-wise. But she says she was glad to see Davon show up during that speech, the Davon that she's been waiting to see. She says, that was you, and I was glad to see you. So Christmas is again pushing that people are leaning towards keeping Kevin because of her POV speech. But, like, honestly, it was already locked in before that. Let's be real. But that's the excuse that they're going to use. So Christmas critiquing speeches is kind of funny considering her eviction speech. Oh my God. I was trying to forget that happened. But anyway, Davon was talking about how she feels like she hasn't been herself this season. She feels like she really had to, like, water herself down, and she, like, had a muzzle on her voice, and it's been really draining her. She's really freaking tired of trying to be someone else who would, like, be more accepted in this game. So she says she came back with a higher purpose this season. I mean, she wanted to do well, but she's also been trying to use this platform to talk about the Black Lives Matter movement, to talk about religion. And she was saying, it really makes me happy to see so many people, like, reading the Bible. And she felt like she had really good conversations with people. And I have to say, like, Davon has had a ton of important, like, real life conversations on these feeds. A bunch of them have made it onto the show. And I think that that's awesome. Like, she really has utilized her platform well. And I really respect that. So Christmas says, I understand where you're coming from with the, feeling like you can't be yourself in here. So she says, my first season, I broke my foot, and she felt like she couldn't be herself. And, people were always telling her to shut up. Like, Josh and Paul were always telling her to shut up. And she couldn't be herself. So she says, I believe I've offended you once or twice in here, maybe 5 or 6 times. And for that, I'm sorry. So Christmas is, like, apologizing to Davon here. So that's cool. And she says, I hope that post-show you can educate me on what I did and how I can correct that. She says, I don't want to be ignorant to your experience. So throughout this, Davon is like, okay. It was tough to say, like, if Christmas was legit about this or not. I want to believe that she was, and I think that's really awesome that she wants to educate herself. But at the same time, I also want to say, like, I feel like to be a really good ally, we should be, like, when I say we, I mean, like, white people should be taking the time to, like, educate themselves. Like, there's plenty of literature out there we can read. There's plenty of, like, documentaries and, like, other materials that we can research so that we're not putting all of this burden on Black people and African Americans. Like, it's not fair. Like, they're already going through all of this, and then to put that extra burden on top of them. I think it's great that she's wanting to educate herself. I'm just saying, we should take it to the next level and really put in the work. But I think there is also something to be said for hearing people's firsthand experiences. But we just can't put everything on other people like that. So, yeah. That's all I'm going to say about that, because I know people are going to start freaking out, but whatever. So anyway, Day says that she's really proud of Christmas for having an open mind and wanting to be educated. Okay. Again, I want to believe that Christmas was being, like, genuine in this conversation. We'll see what happens. All right. So then after this convo was over, the BB hair salon opened up. Yay! So Day was styling her wig, one of her wigs on Kevin, and it was a lot of fun. I love it. I love their dynamic together. I gotta say, though, I'm so disappointed that we've only seen Anita Vito come out, like, once this season. I feel like it was only in that first or second week when Kevin dressed up, and he didn't even go, like, all out. But I feel like, unfortunately, Kevin just doesn't feel comfortable enough with everyone in the house to do that, and that really bums me out. So yeah, it makes me sad. But I wish we could see more Anita Vito because she's amazing. So anyway, at one point they were alone, and Day lets Kevin know, hey, I got confirmation that I'm leaving. She says, I won't say who told me, but I got confirmation. And Kevin's like, that doesn't make sense. Nobody knows what's going to happen yet. Kevin, come on. Like, almost every single eviction this season has been decided, like, right after the Power Veto competition or even before. And then, like, there's been no chance, really, of any flipped votes. So it's been, like, determined really early in the weeks. But anyway, Kevin wouldn't necessarily be privy to that information because he's been outside of the big group, like, all season. So Devon says, it's done. But she's telling Kevin, you still need a campaign like you don't know. You know, just do everything that you've been doing. And she says, I told the person that told me that I wasn't going to tell anyone. So don't start, like, acting crazy because I don't need this getting out. So she also says, the person cried when they told me. And she says, it's somebody that I trust. But this was weird because I remember Christmas kind of getting, like, teary-eyed, but I don't remember her, like, really, like, full-on crying. I don't know. So then, yeah, Kevin is wanting to know who this mystery person is that told Devon that she's going. And Day will not say. She's not revealing the name. So Devon is like, I thought maybe it had something to do with my speech, but this person that I talked to confirmed that it had nothing to do with it. What? I'm confused here again because I feel like Christmas told her that it was about the speech. That's what I thought she said, like, multiple times. I'm not sure if, like, Devon got confirmation from somebody else as well that we didn't see, like, while the feeds were down. But, like, from what I saw in the conversation with Christmas, she was saying that it was because of the speech. So I don't know what that was. I don't know if Devon was just giving Kevin, like, false information or what. It was weird. I don't know. So then Day tells Kevin, I'm telling you this because I want you to know that I trust you and I don't think you're stupid and I want to enjoy you, like, while I'm still here. So Kevin says, this is terrible. And he wants her to keep campaigning. So Day says, we'll see. Like, we'll see. She's not giving up, but she has made peace with it. So if it is her time to go, it is what it is. All right. So then a little later, Christmas and Tyler were in the photo bedroom, and Tyler says, people for sure heard our names grouped together by one of the wall yellers. And I remember a few weeks ago, one of the wall yellers did say that Tyler and Christmas have a final two. I don't know who was outside for that one or who heard that. I mean, there's so many wall yellers at this point, like, I can't even keep them straight, but whatever. So Christmas is like, why do you think that? And Tyler says, well, Danny went to Cody and said that the two of us are super tight. And yes, she has been saying that to people. But Danny's reason is, it's obvious. She says it's obvious after Christmas and Tyler spent so much time together during Christmas's HOH. Like, that whole thing was super shady. So Christmas says, we don't even effing hang out. And Tyler says, well, she probably told Cody that because of the wall yeller. I mean, I'm sure, like, that information has spread around, but also, like, Tyler and Christmas spent so much time together during Christmas's HOH week. So Tyler's saying, like, I just want you to be aware of it so that we can watch out for it and, you know, plan accordingly. Okay. So then Big Brother gave the house guests some booze, or as they were calling it, elk, last night. They've been doing this a lot on Tuesday nights. Like, after everybody gets their COVID tests, they've been giving them elk. So Enzo and Nicole were the first ones to find it in the storage room. And before, like, everybody else found out, they decided they were going to hide some of it. So Big Brother gave them, like, 2 bottles of wine and I think, like, 6 beers. And they hid 3 cans of beer. So then Nicole went and told Danny about it. And Danny was like, I want to hide more. Like, let's hide all of it. And Nicole was like, no. So she did not feel good about that. Danny was like, you know, fun. So eventually Big Brother tells the house guests to check the storage room. And they're all in there looking at it. And Danny's like, oh, it's only 3 beers. So then, yeah, they're all enjoying their alcohol, whatever. So then Day pulls Danny aside to chat in the lounge, and Day says, I'm going to tell you something, but you have to keep your mouth all the way closed. Okay, so anyway, Danny swears that she won't tell. Sure. Okay. So then Day says, I talked to Christmas and she told me I'm going this week. Why is Davon telling Danny like the full name and everything, but like she wouldn't tell Kevin who it was? Like what? I guess because Kevin's on the block, so like she doesn't want to jeopardize messing it up or anything. But what? So anyway, Danny's like, she did? What did she say? So Day says, I told Christmas, look, I'm going to jury. I need people to be honest with me, like what's happening this week. And Day says Christmas started bawling. What? I feel like, again, this is an exaggeration. And I'm wondering if Davon is changing little details in the story to see what information is getting around. Because, like, if she changes specific details and, like, those specific words come back to her, then she'll be like, oh, I know that this person was spreading information around. You know what I mean? Like, that's all I can think of. I don't know. But Danny was like, how does Christmas have this information? Like, she's totally playing dumb right now. So Day is like, are you blind? It's pretty funny. So Danny was like, yeah, but like, they know already? Nobody's telling me jack crap. Danny. This lie, though, is too much. So Day says, about the conversation, like Christmas was being scary nice to me. She was talking about how she wanted to be educated about Black Lives Matter, and Day feels like Christmas was being genuine with her, and she says, you know, she's got inside intel, so I believe it. So Day says after that, like she went to talk to Tyler and asked him why she's on the block, and Tyler was all like, I don't know, I'm not working with anyone, like no one tells me anything. And come on, Tyler, you're working with like literally everyone. So he said to Davon, like, I didn't want to use the veto because I didn't want to put David in danger. I want to protect him. I mean, yeah, David would have gone up on the block, but Tyler also wanted Davon to go. So he told her like her speech messed her up this week. So then Davon says from what Christmas told her, it seemed like the vote could have gone either way. That's a lie. And after her speech, people were saying like, oh, okay, Davon can go now. So again, like I feel like that's not really what Christmas was saying to her. I could have sworn Christmas was saying like, you're going because of your speech. I don't know. So anyway, Davon says that she wants to know what it was that got her to this point. Like, why was she put up on the block? What was the initial reason? So she says, I think I'm going to keep asking around. I'm going to ask David because he seems to be in with people. Nope. And she says, Tyler just fed me a bunch of bullshit. Like, I want some real answers. Danny and Nicole have the answers, but they're lying to you. Okay. So then Davon confirms she's still going to try and campaign. And she says, I already told Nicole, don't stick your neck out for me if it's not looking good. Don't do it. But Day says, I'm a little bit confused. She says, maybe I was wrong about your and Nicole's connection to them, meaning like all those guys. So Day is like, why wouldn't you guys know this? Like, if you're connected with all those guys, like, why would you not know this information that Christmas has? So they do. However, I will say Nicole and Danny do not have as much information about this week's eviction as Christmas because they don't realize how much the rest of their crew have been talking about breaking up their girls' alliance. They don't know that. So they don't realize just how dead set everybody is about taking out Davon. But Danny says, they know I'm close to you. So she's implying like, they are not going to tell me stuff about evicting you. All right. So Davon says, to Danny as well, like, I don't want you sticking your neck out for me if it already is what it is, I don't want you to be in danger because of all this, so, like, don't go too far, like, trying to help me out. I'm sure she won't. So anyway, Danny says she's gonna be so sad if Davon leaves. The saddest of anyone. Get that jury vote. And Davon is like, all right, well, don't come behind me. Like, don't be the next one in the jury house after me. So then later, Danny and Nicole are chatting in the storage room. Danny wanted some of that sweet beer that they had it stashed away in the storage room. Danny was also venting a little bit about Memphis. She said, "You're gross to me." And it made me like literally almost spit out my drink when I heard this. I don't know why, but it just like cracked me up. So she says about Memphis, like, he's nice sometimes, but like he's not my type of guy. Like, and Nicole was like, yeah, I don't know how to say it, so I'm just like not gonna say anything. Okay. They were really not feeling Memphis. Also, a lot of people have been complaining about Christmas lately on the live feeds and saying like she talks too much, like it's enough, like I can't take anymore. Okay, so anyway, Danny spills to Nicole that Christmas told Davon that she's going home, and Danny was like, yeah, I acted like I didn't know that she was going, and Day now thinks that you and I are completely on the outs, and Day says, I feel so bad. So Nicole's like, well, what do we do? And Danny says, just keep acting it up and we'll tell Day what's up in our goodbye messages and just like be as honest as we can. Ooh, okay. So Danny says she has always wanted Davon here. She says, I can't imagine being in the Final Four or the Final Five without her. That's probably because you're going to get cut before then by all these guys. I'm just saying, like, Danny's game is not looking great right now unless she like wins out. Yeah, I don't know. But Danny's like, how am I supposed to fight for somebody who doesn't want to fight for herself? She says Day literally signed her resignation and turned it in at the power veto ceremony with that speech. So she's like, what are we supposed to do for her? We can't do anything if she doesn't want to fight for herself. So Nicole's like, I think there's still a chance. And Danny says, there is no chance. She says, Cody does not want her here. Well, I guess if Cody has spoken, then that's it. So anyway, Danny says, I told Cody, if I don't fight him on this one, then the next one is what me and you, Nicole, want. And Nicole's like, well, what did he say? And Danny said, he said, that's fine. There is no way that Cody would stick to that unless they wanted like the same thing. Unless Danny and Nicole wanted what Cody wants. No freaking way. I can't even believe that they're falling for that. So Danny says, again, like she wants Davon here, but at the same time, she doesn't feel that Davon leaving is detrimental to her game. She tells Nicole, it could even be beneficial for us because if Day stays and we win HOH and don't put her up, we're going to look some type of way to everybody else. Like everybody else is going to be pissed at us. So this might actually like help us out. Okay. So Nicole is like, she's, how do I even say this? The easiest way to just say it is like, Nicole's feeling crazy guilty right now. She's feeling so guilty about this Ian vote from last week. It is crushing her. So Nicole's like, I can't hold this lie in any longer. She's talking about the Ian vote. And Danny's like, you got 2 more days to do this. Like, do not blow it right now. 2 more days to hold this in. So guess who walks in? Davon briefly interrupts the conversation, but a few minutes later, Danny and Nicole are back in the storage room, and Nicole's like, I'm going to take a stand. I've lied to 2 people 2 weeks in a row that I really like. I am done. So she's saying like she's not going to be lying to people anymore, which is hilarious. But anyway, Danny says, I get what you're saying, and it like kills me as well. But think of it this way, like this whole time, we have had everything go the way that we wanted until like last week when we lost Ian, and we even made that kind of work for us. So she's saying like this was bound to happen, right? It sucks that it's been back-to-back weeks, but we've had everything go our way. So Nicole says, yeah, but there's going to be 2 people in jury now that I should have locked in, and I burned both of them. She said it was not even by choice. I mean, you did have choices, but yeah. So Danny says she really likes Day, and she doesn't want this to ruin their friendship. So Nicole says if it was just her game that would be affected by all this, she would have already told Davon the truth. But if she tells Davon about her vote too early, this would blow up Danny's game. It would blow up all the committee's games, and the committee would kill her. So then after she says that, Christmas comes in, and the conversation changes. So then a few minutes later, Davon and Kevin are in the kitchen. Oh, this kills me. So Kevin is again saying, hey, I think that Nicole might have been the one who flipped her vote last week. Yes. So Davon is like, you could be right. Yes. But then she says, I don't think she did it though. No. It's like freaking torture. So then Kevin says, I mean, the only receipt that you have is Nicole's word, right? And Davon says, yeah, well, David's word is trash to me. He's lied multiple times to me this season. So Davon says Nicole has not lied to her yet this season. So Kevin says, from my perspective, Nicole knows that you trust her, and she's using that against you. Yes. That is bingo right there. 100% correct. Amen. Hallelujah. I like it, Kevin. Keep going. So Davon's like, I don't think so. And Kevin says, Danny and Nicole have something with Cody and Tyler, clearly. And that is more valuable to them than you, me, or anything else. And Day says, yeah, but Nicole knows that if she lies to me, she's going to be in some shit after all this. Oh, she knows. That's why she's crapping in her diaper right now. But, like, it didn't stop her from doing it. So Kevin says there's a possibility that this was created so that there's extreme division. And Day is like, between the minorities, that would be shitty. Again, it's not going to stop them from doing it. So, yeah, Davon is still in denial here. All right, so then a little later, Kevin campaigns to David on the hammock. And Kevin, he was like, here's my campaign. And then he goes, could you vote for me to stay? Like, it was very much like a Nicole voice almost. He was just joking, but it was a funny way to start. So he says, all right, I'm not trying to mess with your relationship with Davon. If you want to vote for Day, like, do it. Like, it is what it is. So David says, I feel like Davon doesn't trust me. Yeah, that's pretty accurate. So he's asking Kevin, like, what do you think? Do you think that Davon trusts me? And Kevin is saying, like, I don't want to get in the middle of all that. I don't want to get in the middle of your relationship. I don't want to campaign against Davon. And he feels like by answering that question, it would be like campaigning against her. So he's basically saying, like, Davon does not trust you. So then David was talking about, like, having a higher calling this season. And he was saying basically, like, I have made decisions in this game that may not have been the best move for my game, but he was wanting to stick with, the other African-American house guests so that they could make it further in this game together. So Kevin brings up an important point here. He says there are 4 African-Americans on this season. And he finds it insulting that Day has not included him in that all season. All season, Day has been saying we had 3 Black house guests this season. And Kevin is hurt that he is not included in that because he is half Black, half Japanese. I feel really bad for Kevin. That sucks. And I want to apologize because I have definitely said earlier in the season that there were 3 Black house guests, and Kevin should 100% be included in that. So I feel bad about that. But the feeds went down for a few minutes as David started discussing Davon calling him Uncle Tom. Ooh, okay. That was not a good situation. So later in the conversation, they talk about the veto player picks, and Kevin said, again to David, like, I didn't pick you because I didn't feel like I could beat you. I wanted to pick somebody that I felt like I would have a better chance of beating. So he was also saying, like, I was worried if you won the power veto that you would use it on Davon, and I felt like I would go home against the replacement nominee. So then David admits, like, yeah, I was leaning towards keeping Davon on Sunday when I was talking to you about this, but he says that's no longer the case. Oh? I wonder what changed his mind. Do you think it was because of that power veto speech? Because apparently Davon was, like, basically saying that all these other people were going to use David to go against her. And I guess David didn't like that. I mean, there's been a lot of issues between David and Davon, but he did tell her the other day that he was going to vote to keep her. That was before the ceremony. So anyway, Kevin says he's glad because David has had his back. I'm sorry. Kevin says he has had David's back. And he has been trying to convince Davon that Nicole flipped. So Kevin is like, spoiler alert, it's going down tonight. And David's like, what do you mean? Kevin says, between me and you, I told Davon that Nicole was the flipped vote and that she needs to talk to Nicole tonight, confront her about it. So I feel like this paired up with Nicole's, like, guilt about this whole thing, like, we're gearing up for some good nighttime feeds here, right? Because Nicole also talked to Christmas about how she's feeling so guilty and she's, like, about to, you know, explode with this information. And Christmas was also telling her, like, wait, you know, tell Davon about it in your goodbye message. So anyway, back to this. Yeah, Kevin is saying, like, I'm so tired of this whole vote situation from last week. We all are. So Kevin says, if I stay, I have no choice but to work with you. And this came out really weird because David was like, well, that doesn't make me feel great because, like, I want you to choose to work with me. Like, I don't want you to feel like you're working with me because you have to. You know what I mean? So I feel like that was kind of a poor choice of words for Kevin. But anyway, David says, moving forward, like, you're going to have to act like you don't like me because maybe that will help us avoid being on the block together if people don't think that we're working together. Yeah, they also agree that they won't put each other up on the block if they win HOH. Good, because you know that the committee is going to be trying to make that happen. Okay, meanwhile, Danny and Day were whispering at the dining room table. And Davon asks, did you tell Nicole to change her vote last week at the last minute? And Danny was like, what? No, are you serious? Like, why would I tell her that? Which, she's not lying there because she was telling Nicole all along, you cannot vote for Ian to stay. So this was not really like a last minute thing. But Davon was like, you know, like, to protect Nicole just in case the votes went the wrong way. Or, you know, the votes went crazy. So Danny's like, no, I swear on everything, I never said that. So Day says, I think that they, meaning like the guys, want me to think that Nicole flipped the vote so that I will be at odds with her. Okay. But she says, I don't believe David that he voted for Ian to stay. So Davon says, what? She says, I have an idea. What if I convince David that I do believe him, that Nicole did flip, and that if I stay, I'm going to target Nicole? And Danny was like, ooh, like, I'm down. I'm into this. Like, whatever it takes to get you to stay. So Day is like, I want to see if this, you know, I'm hoping that David will relay this information back to Tyler. She's hoping that this will flip the vote because the guys will be like, oh, Davon wants to target Nicole? Yeah, we'll keep her. So then, yeah, Danny's like, I'm down for anything. I love sneaky plans. We know. Okay, so then Danny talks to Nicole a few minutes later. She tells her about Davon's new plan. And Nicole is like, no. She says, I don't like this. She hates this plan. She's like, what if Davon goes to the guys and they confirm, like, yes, it really was Nicole who flipped her vote. And then Davon really thinks that it was Nicole. Oh, well. But she's like, why did you say yes to this dumb plan? And Danny's like, what am I supposed to say? no. So she says, don't even worry about it. Like, nobody's going to listen to David anyway. She clarifies that Devon would be telling David, like, yes, I believe you. I think it was Nicole. I'm going to go after her. And then David would bring this to the guys. It wouldn't be Devon going directly to them. But anyway, Nicole says, yeah, but like, David would put me up if he wins HOH. I feel like he'd probably do that anyway, right? He knows that Nicole's full of shit. So Danny says, all right, well, I'll just tell Devon that you're scared. And then the feed switched. Okay, so then Kevin and Devon were chatting again. This time they were in the hammock. And now Kevin is saying, I still believe that David is the one who flipped. What is going on here? Ah! They're talking about how David like tries to manipulate people, especially like when he used his power and told everybody that it wasn't him. So yeah, it was like a whole thing. And then the feeds like switched from them and we're just seeing like inside. Actually, this was weird because we were seeing half inside and half stars, which is unusual. Usually it's all stars. So yeah, the feeds are showing us inside and all of a sudden we hear Nicole saying, oh, it's a lockdown. Apparently there was another wall yeller. And then Enzo confirms, yes, somebody was on a megaphone. Devon and Kevin were outside at the time. I don't know who else was. I have no idea what was said, but the feeds went down and they stayed down the whole rest of the night. And I'm sure you guys are already well aware, the feeds have been down all day so far. So I don't know. There's a lot of different options of what could be going on here. I don't know if we're getting punished from the wall yeller. I don't know if things really blew up. What if the wall yeller was like, oh, Nicole flipped her boat? You know, and maybe there was a lot of fallout from that, and we're not supposed to be seeing that because they don't want to like glorify the wall yellers and show that what they do actually makes a difference. Hi, David! I don't know. It could be that. It could be something to do with the neighbor. Maybe that's going down and we're not going to be able to see. Hi, Minnie! We're not going to be able to see that until after it's on the show. I have no idea. Like, it could be anything. It could be they're fixing the sink again. Like, who knows?
I don't think so.
I know. But I'm just saying, like, I have no idea what's going on. But the feeds have been down all day. What do you guys think it is? Bowie, what do you think?
You got some questions.
Yes. Do you guys think it was the neighbor?
No.
Do you think we're just in trouble?
Yeah.
It could be. I don't know. But anyway.
I think people are getting extremely frustrated. What a crappy season this is. And they just want to do anything to unseat the majority alliance.
I don't know. But anyway, it's been a wild ride. So I want to thank you all so much for watching. And I want to thank all of our super chatters. Let me just get this last one on here.
My rubber band came off.
Oh.
Excuse me, sir.
Bowie.
Sir, please stop.
1 sec. Okay. Here we go. What is this for? Oh, the book. So I want to thank all of our super chatters. You guys are amazing. We've got Jody Cortez. Thank you so much. S. Dean, thank you so much. Team Monkey, thank you so much. Dubs versus Paul, thank you so much. Adley Bruges, thank you so much. Mike D, thank you so much. And Mike asked, what seasons of BB Can you recommend?
He's never
the
watched
more characters,
BB
the
Can.
better. You're in for a treat because there have been some really good seasons of BB Can. Okay. Definitely season 2. Great cast. A lot of fun. A lot of great gameplay. Season 4, the one with
I think so.
Tim and
best season ever.
Tim and Nikki. Oh my God. Season 4. So much fun. Season 5 was also amazing. It was half newbies, half all-stars. And that was a lot of fun. Who was on 6? Oh, 6 now. Wait. 7. I'm going to give a big no. And then BB Can 8. It was interrupted. It was sad. But anyway.
Wasn't going anywhere good.
I know. But anyway, yeah. My biggest recommendations for BB Can are definitely 2, 4, and 5.
Yeah.
Those are my favorites.
I would agree with that.
Of all the BB Can seasons. All right. So,
1's not that bad.
1 was fun. Yeah, 1 was fun. It was good.
Hey.
A lot of great characters on season 1. You gotta love Gary.
They're gonna have to leave.
Bobby?
I'm sorry, sir. You're gonna have to leave.
All right. But thank you for your question. Tulipes 327, thank you so much. And their question is, am I ready for the Amazing Race? I am super ready for the Amazing Race. I saw that this one guy, Will Jardell, is going to be on wasn't he on Top Model?
Will?
Yeah.
And his
boyfriend
partner,
or
husband or fiance?
I'm not sure
engaged?
I'm not sure.
I think they might be engaged, actually.
Yeah, I'm not sure, but
oh, I love Will.
I know. So I'm excited to see them. I didn't get to see who the rest of the cast is yet, but we're definitely going to be watching that. Unfortunately, we won't be able to review it because we'll be busy with this. But we will be watching it.
We'll probably talk about it on our vlog channel.
Yeah, I'm sure. Okay. Mike D. You're back. He wants a one more Danny impression. Memphis is so gross. Wait, no, that wasn't it. Okay. I'll say like.
How about the beer?
No, I'll say. Oh my god, it's so frustrating.
It's a go-to.
Shocker.
Yeah,
right. So thank you. Thrifty Babes, thank you so much. Julie Smith and Nene, thank you so much. Mike D. Thank you so much. He asked, how's the knee? Back on the bike yet? Yes, I've been back on the bike for a long time now. I couldn't stay away. I do still get like freak out moments where I just keep replaying the accident in my head.
There's some craziness going on the entire stream.
Yeah, but I can't stay away from biking. I love it too much. My knee is, it is what it is. It looks really nasty.
You should draw a face and that. You'd have a.
It kind of does look like
a deer head.
Yeah, it's really weird, but it doesn't hurt, so we're good. It's a little sensitive still, but it doesn't hurt
because it's new. It's fresh,
new skin. So thank you for asking.
That chair there.
Yeah,
the tail's right under the runner.
Brian Yell, thank you so much. Wilson Matthias, thank you so much. Laura G, thank you so much. M. Marie COJ, thank you as always. And Mike D, thank you again. You guys are awesome. So we've got an episode tonight. Should be a lot of fun with Zingbot. I saw a really funny tweet.
Hurts already.
I know. I saw a really funny tweet from, I think it was Reality BBQ, about like there's no way that Zingbot could top Bailey's zing from this season. Couple of tries, couple of guys.
Yeah.
But anyway, we will see you guys tonight.
He didn't like that either.
Yes, we'll see you guys tonight for the episode chat, and until tomorrow, and until later, and tomorrow. Much love.